And you know, I have Steppin with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all, everybody that's listening to our flagship show right now, live from the Den on Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you to everybody that's been checking us out. We appreciate those folks listening to us on TuneIn. We appreciate those folks that is liking and sharing our stuff. We appreciate those folks who have checked into our website, www.legacyinternetradio.com. Special thank you to those folks that are listening to the replays right now in podcast form. I'm taking a selfie right now, that's why I stumble in my words. But thank you to those folks that are listening to us in podcast form on YouTube. It's because y'all continue listening to us every single week. It's the reason why, you know, we come back every single week. We keep doing this show, man. We love y'all, and I'm vain. They love y'all, but I'm vain. I like hearing my voice. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. All right, we're gonna transition. It's our last segment of the show before we get into our rants and before we get into the closing of the show tonight. And I want to talk about Raven-Symone. Raven-Symone is a person who, you know, we know who she is. We know who she is, and we remember Lil Olivia, and we remember That's So Raven, and we remember the fact that she's on The View right now and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, we wonder why her name is continuing to pop up in our consciousness. Well, first of all, actually, before I do that, I don't know if I remember to mention earlier on tonight that we do have a huge announcement that we're going to break before the end of the show. So we do have a huge announcement. So if we get that huge announcement, we got a mystery caller that's supposed to be calling in tonight that's going to drop a huge announcement on us. And lo and behold, it sounds like that mystery caller is calling in to us right now. As I mentioned, that there was a mystery caller that's calling in. And the mystery caller, I believe, is calling in right now with that huge announcement I did mention last week. And we're going to come back to Raven-Symone in a minute. But I think we have our mystery caller and our huge announcement on the live line of Legacy Internet Radio with us right now. Mystery caller, you on the live line right now?
I sure am.
Mystery caller, what your name is?
This is DJ Renee Melendez. How you guys doing?
We doing fabulous up in this joint, man. It's good to hear your voice. We haven't heard you here on the airwaves of Legacy Internet Radio in quite a while. We were getting ready to get into Raven-Symone, and I want your opinion on that because I know you well enough to know that you have one. But I mentioned at the end of last week's show that we had a huge announcement, and I mentioned just a few minutes ago that we had a huge announcement, and also mentioned that the mystery caller would be breaking that huge announcement. So mystery caller, DJ Renee Melendez, why don't you break the huge announcement?
Well, the huge announcement is that Deep House Sessions version 2.0 will be returning to Legacy Internet Radio starting November 7th. So I'll be bringing you a new show. It's going to have a few different things to it. We're still going to do the music for 2 hours, but maybe twice a month I'm going to incorporate a live interview. Well, actually, I should say a pre-recorded interview with an artist, a DJ, or a producer in the house music community. So my listeners can get familiar with, you know, the music that I'm playing, the different artists and stuff like that, and what people are contributing to the house music community.
Say word. So basically the huge announcement is Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez will be returning to the airwaves of Legacy Internet Radio on November 7th, Saturday night, 7 p.m., every Saturday right here on Legacy Internet Radio. Definitely happy. Definitely. Hold on a second.
Hello?
He was saying that we definitely happy.
Had a technical difficulty. Yeah, I just dropped the mic real quick. Definitely happy to have you back. You know, you never left us with regards to being family. But the show was on hiatus since January. We're back in November, bigger and better version 2.0. So we're definitely glad to have you bring in Deep House Sessions back to us here on Legacy Internet Radio. When you called in just now, we were setting up the discussion on Raven-Symone. And so I'm going to have you give us your opinion. Basically what she said, you know, and I was setting it up and I was getting wordy. I'm going to just cut the crap and just set it up. Raven-Symone said, quote, "I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Landria. and she later on explained that she has issues with ghetto sounding names. The name Renee is not ghetto sounding, neither is the name Marcus. But there are some that have non-traditional Americanized names. I want to know what your opinion is of Raven-Symone's comments with regards to the names and the fact that she would decide to not hire those people.
Well, she's not the only one that's not hiring people with non-typical American names, unfortunately. That's the society that we live in. People are stereotyped based on how you look, what your name is, your sexual preference, what people think your political affiliation is. It's the nature of the social climate that we're living in. It's unfortunate because those names don't determine the character of those people, of anybody, whether they're interviewing for a job or that just happens to be their name. But it is what it is. It's just a sad climate we live in. And what's unfortunate that she, as a black woman, would come out and say something like that against her own people. That's what makes it so much worse.
I can definitely dig that. One more time, tell us who you are, and one more time, break the huge announcement that you just broke when you called us up on the airways of Legacy Internet Radio.
This is DJ Renee Melendez in Jersey City, New Jersey, currently. And be prepared on November 7th from 7 to 9 p.m. Deep House Sessions version 2.0 will be returning to LegacyInternetRadio.com. I'll be bringing you 2 hours of deep and soulful house music and occasionally some interviews with some artists, DJs, and producers so you can get familiar with the music that I'm playing.
You got it. DJ.
So tune in.
DJ Renee Melendez, we appreciate it. Thank you for calling. Thank you for breaking the huge announcement that we've got. We got love for you, and we're going to talk to you soon, all right?
All right, take care.
All right, peace. And have Steppin with Marcus J. Let's get the ladies in first on this Raven-Symone thing because, fellas, obviously I want y'all's opinions, but I want the ladies first. Didi, you up as the newbie. I want your opinion. You already know what she said. What's your thoughts on what she said?
What's her name? Raven-Symone. I'm supposed to call her Ravon.
Well, the fact that you might pronounce her name differently,
Simone or wherever the accent,
that's part of it.
Agu or whatever it is. I took French for 7 years, so.
They don't do that in the hood, y'all.
Exactly. Yes. You hood rats took Spanish. I took French and German. Yes. Wow. I am bougie. Yes. And I went to a PWI. Yes, I said it.
Get it, girl. I ain't mad at all, y'all. Yo, no, I ain't mad.
What's a PWI?
Yeah, tell us what that is.
Yeah.
Predominantly white institution.
I did as well. I had the best of both worlds.
You mean that's kind of like
I lived in a project, but I went to school where I was a minority.
So like PWI, that's like the opposite of HBCU.
I just learned that the other day. I was like, what's a PWI? And the whole time,
girl, you just learned the other day. Then you is hood. You know what I mean?
Just like I just went to ODU. I don't know what a PWI is.
Went to an all-white school. That's what you
used to say. Let me tell you what ODU isn't now.
Oh
yeah.
Shout out to Big Rube, ODU. So what you think about Raven?
Raven-Symone is a non-factor to me. Seriously, she's just saying this stuff to be relevant. She keeps saying this stupid stuff, and again, like she was saying, I'm sorry, what's your friend?
DJ Renee Melendez.
Yeah, Renee, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like Renee said, she's not the only one that thinks that. I mean, we know that. I'm going to be real.
Right.
Some of the applications that I've had to go through helping my manager out, I'm like, I hate to say it, but I do think that. It's terrible, but I think it, but I will never say it out. I wouldn't hire that person because of their name.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's an automatic bias that jumped in my head, but to say I'm not going to hire somebody because they have a ghetto-sounding name,
right.
You can't control what your name is.
Right.
Your parents, your mother named you that,
right. Right.
And again, she's black. She may not be all black, but she's got some black in her.
Right.
She couldn't get a job out here if she wasn't working on The View with the stuff that's going on with her in her life. So
right. That was easy.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, I said,
Tony,
she's just trying to be relevant. That's it.
Tony, what you think?
Like that study that she referred to suggests, unfortunately, that is a reality for the white people that they polled.
And that's the study.
In the
that
study.
was the UCLA study.
Yes, the UCLA study.
Right.
That I think was like 1,500 or something like that, white people, where they gave them these scenarios with different names. And like Dee Dee said, maybe some people think it, but you don't say it out loud. And yes, we don't pick our names. Your parents name you whatever they choose to name you. And, as time has progressed, if you look back, in like the early part of the 20th century, people have more traditional, George, Martha, people were juniors, seniors, fourth and fifth. And then, I don't know, I guess it was like French-based, that these names with like the "le" at the front of it.
like Latoni?
Latoria and stuff like that.
La Didi?
I know, Lucretia. Yeah, but, for me, your name is your virtue. And I think that, especially with so many young mothers, I think that people don't really take into consideration, like, this name is going to stick with my child for their whole life.
Right.
So while Latoria may be cute to them for a little, like, 2-year-old, what's going to happen when she's 25 and looking for a job in corporate America?
Well, let me ask the question like this. And Dee Dee, I'm going to have you and Taji kind of talk a little bit on this subject. Those are your nicknames, but you guys have non-traditional names, and I say that respectfully, but it's not Joseph and it's not Marcus and it's not Tony. You guys have non-traditional names. And so, Dee Dee, I'm going to have you come after Taji here. Taji, have you in your life experienced discrimination based upon what your name is? Tell me what your thoughts is, what you're feeling, and what your experience is.
I was born Tajiri Hodari. My mother gave me that name. I've been called...
I love that name. Yeah. Look, if I had seen it on a piece of paper, I would. Yeah.
Right. No. I've been called Atari. I've been called
5200.
I've been called Taliban. I've been called everything. Now, here's the deal. When they see the name, they automatically assume African or Muslim.
I would have.
So I've had to answer that question even before we get into am I qualified? You understand what I'm saying? So a name does say a lot. But as far as Raven-Symone go, kick rocks, kill yourself 2 times.
Kill yourself
no,
2
I'm
times.
Just playing.
Twice.
No, I'm just playing.
Like first time you're still alive.
Right. 2 times. But Raven-Symone, we know her as Olivia. She grew up a child star, child celebrity. She grew up where a lot of people catered to her. And now that she's not a little girl, she's a grown woman, we expect... Like you say, we all think it and we all feel it. There's no difference between us and Raven-Symone. But the thing is, we expect her to be Olivia. She's almost 30. She's a grown woman, like you said. She's trying to make a name for herself, things of that nature. I mean, she looked like a Shanae. Yeah. Her hair and all of that. I mean,
right.
So, I mean, you could not know her name and see her face if she wasn't famous, and you probably wouldn't hire her.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? But that's just my 2 cents. Raven-Symone is just a bougie.
Dee Dee, what you think? I mean, that's your nickname, but you also have a, I guess, non-Americanized, European-sounding traditional name.
Non-black.
French.
Non-black.
Right. So have you in your life experienced discrimination or any kind of discomfort because of the name that you wear?
It's just been discomfort. They automatically assume I'm a man. Because that is a traditional, it's a Greek name, but it's traditionally a man's name. It's Russian, it's a man's name. So it's always, oh yeah, I called to speak to Demetrius Davis. That's how I answer my phone. Hello, you've reached Demetrius Davis. Yes, is Demetrius Davis there? This is Demetrius Davis.
Hence the DD.
Yeah, that's the only discrimination I've ever had. So I hated my name up until, gosh, I think I was going into I was a freshman in high school when I started getting into
Being able to appreciate it.
not that. I wanted to know what it meant.
Right.
My parents are from South Carolina. I mean, places nobody's ever heard of except Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Exactly.
Except Joe.
Yeah.
So, and I've always wondered, why did you name me that? Why did you do that to me?
Right.
My sisters have, regular names: Sonia, Melinda, Demetrius. Why would you do that to me?
Well, you know what? Let me question you on that, because oftentimes you don't have an opportunity to speak with someone. We have a subject like this where a person who has, and I feel silly even saying non-traditional sounding names is to assume that, a European sounding name is the right way to go with names. So, but in the interest of the discussion, I'll say that, how did you really feel? You say, why did you do this to me? Like, is it because when you got older that you realized that there would be challenges that you would have that your sisters wouldn't have? Or was it just because of how it sounded to you?
Yeah, I didn't, everybody, Demetrius, nobody can pronounce it, nobody can spell it,
Right.
Nobody wants to call me a nickname. They want to jack my name up. So, okay, it's funny. Oh, okay.
Right.
Now I'm Demetrius, and you are who now?
Right.
Tina.
Yeah. No, I can
but no, it's I like the nickname now. I don't want anybody calling me my whole name anymore. It's like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Right.
But that it was more discomfort than anything else. Never discrimination until they saw that I wasn't a man. It's like, oh,
that's awkward.
Yeah, it is when you show up in an interview and they're like,
yeah. And
you can tell they thought they were hiring a man too. Yeah, gotcha, bitch.
And not only are you not a man, but you're a black woman. Say word. I like the gotcha bitch thing. I caught that. And I still with Marcus. Yeah. I caught that. Big bro, with a name like Joseph and a name like Marcus, I don't imagine that you or I would have those kinds of problems.
Wrong.
Joseph
Lewis?
Tell you why. Watch this now.
Okay. I guess.
Now, you know my
made it.
full name, right?
Yes. Trey.
Yeah. Joseph Timothy Lewis the third. I go to interviews and people are looking for a staunch white guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course.
And when they see me being, what am I?
6'4", 290.
Watch your mouth, save your teeth. 277.
Oh,
damn.
School size.
You say you losing weight.
I was out there working.
That's all right. I say you found it.
So, I mean, it's funny that I've gone on interviews, and it's funny because when you speak to me over a telephone, then I can always change my dialect to fit what I need to fit.
Yes.
Now, the way you hear me speaking now is the way I normally speak, and it's not an error, it's the way I speak. I was taught diction as a child.
Yes.
I was taught how to enunciate as a child. So, with that being said, most people misconstrue that Joseph Timothy Lewis III is a black man. Now, if you heard just regular old Joe Lewis, shot it.
Don't nobody say shawty. They say shawty.
Yeah, they say
No,
shawty.
depends on where you are.
You can't even say it right.
You right. I can't even mess it up.
What up,
Shout. What's up, shout?
Because my mother probably would smack me in the back of the head with a frying pan if I said that, real talk. But, I mean, it's funny. Yes, you get it on both sides, Marcus. Now, like I said.
Marcus.
Notice how he enunciated my name, right? Michelle
Raven.
K is listening. I'm going to let you finish that. Let me get her comment in. Michelle K says, Raven should have kept it to herself, to be honest.
Right.
I see names that parents today name their children. It honestly makes me shake my head. Mm-hmm. Some names aren't bad, but there are some that I feel bad for the child. My aunt named me Michelle Kristen. Oh, okay. I always wondered what the K stood for. Michelle Kristen. Okay, love that. So when I went out to look for a job, they couldn't judge me based on my name. I can dig it. When I named Christina my child, who I lovingly call Mama J, I never thought about that. I didn't think about. I just thought about the fact that I like the name Christina. Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J live from the den. Turn your radio down, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to get in on?
I wanted to comment on two things. One was the giving back,
okay,
and two about the Raven-Symone name thing.
First thing, caller. Turn your radio down because we can get some feedback. Can you turn your radio down?
Oh, sorry.
Better,
Okay.
much better. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Tracy. I'm actually Taji's sister.
Oh, Tracy.
She almost messed up
shout
your
out to
name.
my
I know.
Yeah, Tracy.
What's up,
Tracy,
Trace?
you're so welcome on the show tonight. Thank you for listening, and thank you for showing some love to your brother as well as the crew of Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J live from Legacy and that Radio. Tracy, what's your comment? What you want to get in on?
Well, the first thing about giving back, it's all about your fruit. Whatever you leave your legacy on this earth to do, that's going to follow you. So if you're a giver, you're going to give, and it comes from your heart. So as far as our moral right, what would you do in such a case? If you saw a man hungry, would you feed him? You know, if you saw someone out there in the rain pouring down and you had the ability to help them, would you actually, ask somebody else to do it, or would you take it upon yourself to go and do it? Not for props, not for publicity, but just for human, being human. So I just wanted to say that on that. As far as the name thing, it's all about what you answer to. Nobody can define who you are but you. So if your mama named you Shanae and you act like a Shanae, then there it is.
Oh, I can dig that.
Tell him again, sis.
Hey, Tracy, did you just drop the mic on us?
Yes, she did.
I think you dropped the mic on us, sister. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling us. Thank you for supporting your brother, and thank you for supporting us at Legacy and that Radio. We appreciate your call.
Oh, God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. Picking it up from right there.
Hey, Marcus J., you know what? It's funny. Look, I just got to, I know I'm going to get off tangent for a second, but I got to know. What is the strangest name that you've ever heard?
Oh, man,
I got one to beat everybody, so I'm ready.
I mean, well, you ready because you're the only one that thought about the question on live radio. So I can't say that I can give you one. Honestly, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But Joseph is an odd name. So that's where I would start. And so that's be the.
I'm going to tell my daddy, watch. No more fish for you. Apologize.
I'm sorry.
That was real. He thought about that fish. He thought about it.
Yeah, his daddy made the kind of fried fish. You know the phrase, make you want to slap your mama? No, I don't want to slap my mama, but it tastes good. You know what I mean? We're getting a hit from Priscilla in Jersey City. Priscilla is listening to us. Thank you, sister, for listening to us. She says, my first name gets me through the door, but my complexion gets me the side eye. My vocabulary always surprises them. In the interest of full disclosure, Priscilla is a friend of ours. She's a friend of the show. She's joined us on the air multiple times. Priscilla is a Latina sister. She is of Puerto Rican and Dominican descent. If you were to look at her, you may think she's a black woman. And so that's kind of giving the listeners a little backdrop to what her comment is.
Perception.
There it is. Thank you for your comment, Priscilla. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. live from the den. Legacy and then Radio. I want to comment on Raven-Symone, and we'll move on to one more thing before we get ready to close out the show. Actually, I got one or two more things. I'm not sure what they want to talk about, but this one, these two I got on the table might elicit a little bit of emotion here. But you got a black female lesbian with a red mohawk whose name is hyphenated and has multiple pronunciations, talking about she will have issues hiring somebody. Really? Like, really? If the phrase, when we say really now with the side eye, and like, if there was ever a time to use the phrase, really, this is where you use the phrase, really. Her own daddy came out and said, I raised her, I love her, sometimes she says dumb shit. Her daddy said that. And he didn't say it in those words. That's what he heard. That's what I heard him say. He used to be her manager. He was getting calls, people telling you, look, I'm not supporting you no more because your daughter said some dumb shit. And he was like, look, I don't even support her. I don't even manage her no more. I ain't managed her in 10 years. Like, don't let that craziness fall on me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? And I got daughter. You got daughters. if you got to throw your daughter on the bus, it's because she said something stupid. I mean,
it does.
Yeah,
I tell
man.
mine all the time. Hey, don't say that out loud again.
Yeah,
Please, don't
man.
do that.
Ain't no
Don't do
hashtag
that.
with Marcus J. All right, real quick. I want the ladies on this one. I got one for the ladies and I got one for the fellas. Feel free to jump in on the other story if you want to. But this first one that I'm going to get to before we jump on out of here is for the ladies. This one is about a woman who is using Instagram to call out gross and creepy men. She is a 4'9" Asian American musical performer who has been getting all kinds of harassment. You know, she has had people hit her up in social media trying to inbox her, date her, say all kinds of crazy stuff to her. And so she has decided how she's going to deal with that. Is she created an Instagram account that is designed basically to put folks on blast. You inbox me some craziness, I'm putting you on Instagram, and I'm showing the world that you just said some real nasty stuff. Now, she has, in this particular article that I'm getting, and I wish my co-host, S.Y. Butler, who we miss and love, was here with us, because she would say...
The Huffington Post.
Thank you very much, Tony, for standing in for S.Y. Quote, pretty much most of my life I've encountered Asian fetishes, pedophiles, stalkers, racists, and who knows how many unsolicited sexual comments. It's gotten to the point where someone would send me the most scathing, racist, violent thing to me like rape or death threats, and I would barely have a reaction. There are so many vile, nasty comments in here that she has screenshotted of people sending to her basically trying to holler that I won't read them on the air because they're that vile and that vulgar. As the ladies, what I want to get you guys to comment on is the trolls. People trying to holler at you, inboxing you, and what your thoughts are about someone who is taking a stand and saying, oh, hell no, I'm going to call your punk ass out. Tony, you up first.
Block them, number one. Number two, what kind of content is she putting on Instagram?
Thank you.
Are you
Thank
doing
you.
the back shots in the
Thank
mirror? Or
Well,
your
no,
booty?
before you go there, I'm going to tell you, maybe I didn't set it up properly.
No.
She's not someone who's doing that. She's
Okay.
a regular person who created the Instagram for the sole purpose of calling out the trolls and the crazy people. You guys are, you ladies are very attractive, respectable women, and I'm sure that you guys get people who try to holler at y'all, and in some cases, they try to holler at y'all in inappropriate ways. That is her story. She is a regular chick, a regular Asian chick, and she's getting inboxes of people who got Asian fetishes and saying all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. And so she decided that she was going to create this Instagram account, not just for herself, but once it started growing, people, ladies, started sending her their trolls and their inboxes. So she basically created this Instagram account to put the creepy guys on blast. Now that I have fully, completely set it up, now y'all may blast her because I can tell by your face.
To work.
Thank you.
You don't have nothing better to do than compile a composition book
Basically.
full of inappropriate contact that you've gotten from men. Again, block it. You can report them. I've done that before. I mean, you're putting too much into it, and that's not going to make it stop. And then you have to think about the legal aspect of it. Can those people sue her? Because if they send her a direct message, like, is that supposed to be meant for, like, public eyes? But if they send a direct message to you and you share it with somebody, can't they sue her for, like, slander
they're using
or libel?
it on a public site.
But they send it to a
They
private
send her
person.
a private message.
But
It's
it's
like
a
email.
public site.
Right.
It's
like sending an
intellectual
email.
property. There are differences.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like sending
saying that
somebody
Facebook can't use your pictures.
No,
it's on a
it's not
public
the same
site.
thing. If it's like saying somebody sent you an email and you put that email out there.
Right.
Now,
But you use
if
the engine of she used the engine of Instagram to get it. Is that what? Was she getting it on Instagram?
yeah, but it won't. If it's a private message, not that public site where everybody
Right.
can see it, there are different things that apply when it's a
Right.
private
For a
message.
direct
It's like an
message.
email.
Yes, yeah.
You still have to go through a ISP to send an email, but somebody's taking a private message and using it and putting it out there. Now, I don't know what legal action you could take against somebody for doing that other than you shared some private information, because it's not a lie.
Right.
It's in writing.
Right.
The only issue at hand is, well, not true, but libel or slander. Well, which one is written?
Written. That's what I think. Libel
is written. Slander is verbal.
Yeah. So
I always get those confused too.
If you put it in writing and you send it to me and I put you on blast, what are you gonna take me to court for? But back to Tony's point. Ignore them. Jeez Louise. I mean, you just made a life out of...
Let me ask you this, because I'll be honest with you. When I knew that I was going to have you two in particular here, because I know you guys, I guess, again, assumption. I assumed that I would get a reaction, and the reaction that I'm getting from you guys is not what I thought I was going to get.
I'm not tripping off that.
It's completely... not what I thought
I was going
to. It's not what I thought I was going to get. Not that you would agree with it, but I didn't think that you guys would be so strongly against calling these creepy guys out and putting them on blast. So, I mean, is ultimately what you feel like?
It's a waste of time. My thing is, I don't know if it should matter. It does matter. What's
the win? What's the win?
No, not what's the win. What's her setup here? What happened that this man or these men felt the need to inbox her, whatever it is that they inbox her? Dudes don't just inbox you inappropriate stuff if you didn't put something out there inappropriate.
I can dig it.
And maybe they are inboxing her inappropriate stuff because they do have a fetish. But what is it that you're doing? How are you presenting yourself where they feel that
it's cool?
Hey, not necessarily cool, because, nasty dude is a nasty dude. He doesn't really care about you.
I mean, I got the website here, and I can show you some of the stuff that people are saying to her. I'm certainly not going to read it on the air.
Look, I'm in this group.
These
guys think they can just send all kinds of pictures to you. I don't open them. Thankfully, I've got a phone where if I don't know you and you inbox me, I'm not answering that.
Yeah,
It'll sit out there in perpetuity, and you'll never know whether or not I saw it.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. Get over it. Ignore it. But apparently it's bothering her that much that she feels the need to put somebody on blast. Again,
I didn't have that much of a problem with it. I mean, I'm not a chick who gets inboxed, but I'm also a guy who says a lot of, I don't know, some would say controversial things on the radio, and I've gotten those trolls, but they're not trying to holler at me. They're calling me the N-word and calling me a race baiter. Like, I'm getting that stuff. And so, I guess part of me kind of understands it, but, like I said, I thought that I would get a different reaction.
I don't have time for that.
Nah, I can take it. Ain't no half step on Marcus. All right, last thing I want to get to before we get out of here. Fellas, y'all heard about Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this because Taji don't know.
Yeah.
You
all right,
don't know.
Taji don't know.
I'm jumping in on this one.
Here it is. Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher were teammates with the Lakers.
Right.
Matt Barnes plays for the Memphis Grizzlies now. Derek Fisher is the head coach for the New York Knicks. Matt Barnes was married to a woman by the name of Gloria Govan during his Laker days. She was on a show called Basketball Wives and all of that kind of stuff. Apparently they got divorced, and after they got divorced, she started seeing Derek Fisher. At some point within the last week or so, New York Knicks head coach Derek Fisher was in Los Angeles, not New York, but in Los Angeles, kicking it with Gloria Govan. They had a little bonfire in the backyard. 8-10 people was back there kicking it. Matt Barnes is FaceTiming with his son, who's also in that house. Matt Barnes is not there. He's somewhere else. He's FaceTiming with his son, not really digging how his son's reacting to him in the FaceTime. So he gets in the car, and he goes to the house. Apparently his son mentioned that mommy's friend Derek is here. He gets to the house. He sees Derek Fisher there. He sees other people there. Matt Barnes proceeds to go in Derek Fisher's mouth. Right there. Bust that ass.
Boom.
In front of people.
In front of people.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I bring that up because there are a lot of angles, and I'm not sure if they're all going to get tackled in this discussion. I don't know if we got time for it or if everybody wants to bring it up. But the angle that I'm going to put out there is y'all was teammates, and you smashing out your teammate's ex-wife.
Yeah.
I get that.
And I'm not going to tell you my opinion of that, but the way I said it ought to drop a dime on how I feel about that. You also going to be in a fight in the backyard with a whole bunch of people there.
Right.
Over your
You
ex?
also are the head coach of a franchise, and you dating a current player's ex.
Right.
I'm dropping all kinds of dimes about how I feel
Right,
about
right,
this one,
right.
but I want y'all to kind of flesh them out with your own opinions. Big Bro Joe, you up first, man?
Am I first?
Yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so the opinions of Joseph Lewis are strictly.
You ain't got to do that.
Joseph
Say it.
Lewis.
Just say what you got to say.
Hey, you know what? I
You ain't got to
disagree. Hey,
disclaim this.
all right, well, fine. Then I'm gonna tell you how I feel. So what? You an ex for a reason, and if I want to smash, if I want to, I'm a grown ass man, and I can. That's number one. Now, the softer side of things. You got to put it into perspective. And it came out that dude was almost 100 miles away.
That's not true. That
How
was
far was
that
it?
was the initial story, but it's not true. He was
So he was around the corner?
He was basically around the corner. He's 15 minutes away.
He was around the corner, and
He's
he's
15
still
minutes
mad.
away.
15 minutes?
He's 15 minutes away.
So it took him 13. All right.
He's still mad.
I don't care. It's a man law violation. I still say on Derek Fisher's part, everybody was wrong in this situation. I got to go at it like this.
Right,
Everybody was wrong. Derek Fisher was wrong not for smashing, but for not showing the common courtesy to say, hey, yo, dude, I'm going to go holler at her. What you think about it? You say that. He say, nah, man. Okay, I understand. I respect your feelings, but you know what's about to go down, right?
Exactly.
If she tells you yes, you can. He ain't breaking the house.
Right.
She opened the door. She did not break in the house. Now, to come over there and go in this dude's mouth with, all right, I'm gonna go hood real quick, with all these witnesses,
Exactly.
son, we going to court. Yes, sir.
Right,
We going
right.
straight to court.
Taji.
Well, just hearing the story firsthand, I agree with Joe. It is a man law violation to do that. At the same time, you do have the right to smash whoever you want to smash. I mean, you know what I mean? It's fair game when you call it X. Like what you say, it's called an X for a reason.
Yes, it is.
But as far as them being ex-teammates, as far as them being professional, ball players or whatever, they could have handled that a little bit different, especially Derek Fisher, head coach.
Well,
head
wait,
coach.
he protecting
But
himself.
see, I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what I was going to say.
Head coach.
Now,
Man.
here's my thing. Here's my thing with that. Like, being a man doesn't allow you to make poor decisions just because you're a man.
Okay, wait a minute.
And-
But you said he didn't go at that dude. He came at him. I'm going to protect me at all costs.
No, I got you. But,
So damn that coach-
first of all, we talked earlier about moral obligation. We talked about moral obligation. Man law says that you don't smash your boy's ex
Unless you ask.
unless you ask.
Right.
Unless you ask. Unless you
Wait
ask.
a minute. Don't
Unless
you mean unless you make, hey, I'm telling you what's going on.
Well,
No,
that's the-
not-
Well, that's
not
asking.
ask.
That's asking.
As long as he's informed.
Basically,
as long as he's informed.
if there has been
A
a
discussion.
discussion, then the person who is
Trifling
in their
ass.
feelings at that moment has the right to say or do
Do
whatever
it-
they
right,
want.
right.
Where the violation comes in is that there was no discussion.
That's my thing.
But there was no discussion. Now, me personally, there wouldn't be the ask because if that's your ex, then I'm not dealing with her. That's just me. That's just me.
But
But
and
their
I can
situation-
only speak for me.
But
But
hold
their
on.
situation
I'm not
was
gonna
different.
ask you.
Right, but-
Their situation was different. Like you said, Derek Fisher as a coach.
Yeah, and that's
This
the other
is
piece.
your
Yeah.
ex-teammate.
Yes.
Ex.
Yeah.
He was
But-
wrong. That's too much.
but watch this.
I agree with you.
Notice what
It's
you
too
said.
close.
When
It
y'all
is too
boys,
close.
I'm
though.
with you on that. I'm
It is-
totally
it's
with
kinda
you.
Where you
close.
boys- See, I still have to go back. You could be another cat in the. You can be another cat in the league that I have no idea who you are, and I can pick up on your wife. And yeah, okay.
that's
If you
different.
my
Yeah,
boy,
but that's different, man.
well, what I'm saying is, that's when I say the man law violation comes into effect. Yo, like I said, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen
Yeah.
because I did not kick the door in and take advantage of this young lady. She allowed me to come into her house with the bonfire and get it in, and I'm going to put it out later.
I guess where we're having a disconnect is you're not addressing the man law part. And if you okay with it, then say you okay
Wait a
with
minute,
it.
okay, then
The man law says Marcus J ain't smashing none of Big Bro Joe's exes. That's what man law says.
unless we have a conversation and I don't care.
Unless we have a conversation.
his
But
man law says.
what Marcus J is saying to Big Bro Joe is
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
do that anyway.
go
Right,
there.
right, okay.
We wouldn't have to have a discussion
Okay.
because I'm already not going there. Now,
Okay, all right.
now that's just the man law. we haven't even gotten to the fact that there's an authority level here, professional authority level. When we're talking about a head coach, forget that it's the Knicks and it's my team. I'm not even on that level of emotion. I'm on the fact that you're a head coach in the league and you're dealing with a chick that is the ex of a dude that you already know is a head case in the league. That's just not smart.
Right.
That's not smart.
It's too close.
It's too close and it's unsmart. So why would you do it?
Because it was good.
It
guess.
was a setup. She played some
I was about to say
role
To get
maybe
back on the housewives.
situation as well.
right.
She
She
needed
might have
some more-
had.
She
She needs
played
some more material.
some role in this situation. So, everybody was wrong here. She knew what was happening here.
Right.
Yeah, I know they used to play. Yes.
All three of them. Now, here's the head
I'm
cracker.
about to get them back.
Here's the head cracker, right? The head cracker is they dealt with each other back when they was teammates because they knew who everybody was. I mean, if you a teammate, like, we can act like you ain't that close to your teammate all you want, but at the end of the day, when you spend all day, every day for 8 months with somebody,
You know.
you not only do you know them, but you know their family.
Yeah.
You know
and
they peoples.
You know how his wife was when they were
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
She likes to start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to be with somebody that somebody I knew was with. Like, we don't even have to be friends. Like, she was with him. I don't want none of that.
Exactly.
I don't want none of that. It's too many out there for you to have to go with something that you know he didn't. They got kids together, so you know he's all up in that. I
can
don't
dig
want
it.
it.
I can
don't
dig
want
it.
it.
I mean, I think it's okay for men and women to view this one different. That's your view of it. I would guess that the average guy ain't tripping off of that, particularly by the question being asked, did you all discuss it? If you've discussed it and you good with it, then go and do what you're going to do. That's how.
So Matt Barnes went at Derek Fisher, or Derek
Yes.
Fisher went at Matt
No,
Barnes?
Matt Barnes went at Fisher. He was sitting at the bonfire with his shorts and flip-flops on, and all of a sudden he got punched in the face from behind.
Right.
And knocked out.
Oh, he got suckered
he got knocked out the lawn chair.
Oh,
Which is another man law violation.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry if you
approach him.
that big and bad. Why didn't
Talk,
you?
hey, look,
in
what's the
his
phrase?
face?
Talk shit, shoot a brother the fair one.
right.
He's
right.
like, what?
The back. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, I know.
But I think
I couldn't do.
maybe-
I couldn't drop that bar without
maybe the
cussing.
shorty has some an agenda too, to say that, like you say, to get back at him or something like that. If you know he a head case, Matt Barnes is a head case.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows that.
Yep.
Who would know that better than his ex
Nah.
And his ex
And his
teammate.
ex- right.
and the ex teammate?
An ex-teammate.
So Derek Fisher, that's too close. Number one, Matt Barnes, kill yourself 2 times.
Once again,
Everybody's dying messing around with Ty G. Boy. You don't want to fool with him because
they committing suicide.
Hey, man, Ty G. Boy, your ass dead up in this joint.
Hey, let me ask a question, man. Let's take it out of professional. Let's take it out of professional basketball realm for a minute, and just be
Regular world. Let's
Regular
do it.
world.
Let's
Let's
do
be
it.
real world
Let's do
for a
it.
second.
Let's do it.
honestly and seriously. And because I know where it took me a second to put it all together. I'm a little slow because I'm old, but really, like I said, we see this every day with some of the folks that we know around the way. We see it all the time. You know how much inner swapping goes along in the hood?
Doesn't make it okay.
I've already told you where I'm from.
Oh, please, it go along in the burbs even better. Really? I know you ain't want to do that one. It go along in the burbs.
Yeah, with
quicker
them
than it would in the
stay-at-home
hood.
moms.
Stay-at-home moms. That ain't no milkman coming to the hood. Come on.
I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I think we understand each other. I mean, me personally, for me, man law, brother law, whatever you want to call it, if you was with her, I ain't fooling with her. I don't, you know what I mean? And that's just how that's just me. Now, I have seen situations where that law was not observed in the way that I laid it out. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah, leave that alone.
That's all I'll say. I have seen up close where people disagree with what I just said. And, you're going to do what you're going to do. But that's just me. And if you don't look at it that way, then you roll however you roll. it is what it is. Ain't no half step with Mark J live from Dan Legacy and